Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes. It's Friday, the 7th of February. No Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast tonight. However, we will have one on Saturday, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. There will be no Sunday show. So just mark that down. We'll be on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to cover its latest round of winter weather in the Northeast and Mid Atlantic states. And we've got winter weather advisories up tonight for areas that extend all the way down into Northeast Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. Almost all of Pennsylvania, ice storm warnings in the Allegheny Mountains and Southwest PA and into West Virginia. Meanwhile, the winter weather advisories in New Jersey, the exception to that is parts of Bergen and Passaic counties, which are under winter storm warnings. And we have winter storm warnings up for all of the Hudson Valley up and down, as well as the western and southern coastal counties of Connecticut. Looking at winter weather advisories for Long Island, winter storm watches up for southeastern New England. They will ultimately go to warnings in most of these counties when Boston decides to do an upgrade. So it's all about this weather system that you see developing in in southern Missouri. Clouds are beginning to blossom out as that energy starts to stream eastward. Meanwhile, we have partially cleared out across much of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states as a cold front and upper trough move through today, and we're getting some colder air coming in for tonight into Saturday, which is setting the table up for this next developing storm system. Checking out the radar tonight, there are some snow showers going on in parts of upstate New York and also some scattered snow showers in New England. This is the beginnings of the area of moisture starting to develop in parts of Tennessee and Kentucky, southern Indiana, and southern Illinois. We're also looking at snow from Minnesota back up through the Dakotas and points westward. This radar is as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time. WPC, next 7 days, a lot of precip in the east. There are several storm systems in play here. So we're talking an inch and a half of liquid plus or melted plus from southern New England down into North Carolina. In the Tennessee and lower Ohio Valley, we're talking about 3 inches or more of liquid there. Also remaining busy with precipitation of up to several inches up and down the coast of the Pacific Northwest. So I'm going to show you my final call, which for the second time this winter, it's identical to my early call. I've had made no changes here from my early call forecast that I came out with yesterday. So I have a trace, southern New Jersey, southern Pennsylvania is where the borderline for that is. I have a 1 inch line drawn from just north of Tom's River, northwestward into Pennsylvania between Philadelphia and Reading and touching Harrisburg. 2 inches along the south shore of Long Island, across New York City, and into northwest New Jersey. Actually, down probably to about Route 78 is where that 2 inch line is going to be. Then I have a 4 inch line drawn right along the Rhode Island and Connecticut coast, the border of southern and northern Westchester, and then swinging across northwest Jersey and 6 inches plus as you head up into the Hudson Valley north of Route 84, as well as in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and further up north toward I-90. So that's my final call on all of this. I think when we looked at the models today, they all pretty much came in along those lines. And we have low pressure. This is the very latest 18Z GFS run. Low pressure moves out of Missouri into Kansas and Missouri into southern Indiana. By tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see the leading edge of snow and sleet breaking out in parts of Maryland and northern Virginia, and then reaching New York City by late afternoon or evening. The low moves into, let's call it, western West Virginia, and the snow area will continue to blossom. Now, that low is going to redevelop off the Delaware, New Jersey coast, so there will be a changeover to rain that will occur in central and south Jersey. It's going to be hard to say what goes on in Pennsylvania because there is cold air there, and we're going to see another round of sleet and freezing rain. Meanwhile, where it is snow, we'll see the heavier snows just to the north of New York City and Long Island. Uh, Sleet and maybe a little bit of freezing rain will get into northern New Jersey at some point later Sunday evening or perhaps around midnight Sunday night. Then the low will pull away. There might be some leftover snow on the backside Sunday morning, and then weather conditions are going to improve. Now, going into next week, because there's been a lot of talk of another storm system, and yeah, there's going to be another storm system. Actually, there's going to be several next week. But you never go in off the deep end when you see something in the long range. You have to wait for everything to sort of play out and evolve. Looks to me like this system is going to come out in two pieces. One comes out Tuesday, and then that brings snow maybe up to the southern half of New Jersey and southern Pennsylvania and points south. I don't think it's going to be lifting up far enough north. Maybe it briefly touches New York City and Long Island, but the bulk of this is going to slide to the south. This could be setting up for a heavy snowstorm for parts of Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia, and also maybe even into the southern portions of the Delmarva Peninsula. That's going to move out on Wednesday. Another low. Okay, instead of getting one piece, you're getting two weaker pieces. Another low could be setting us up for something like what we're going to go through tomorrow, and then that goes out. And then with this big blocking pattern developing, it looks like it could get relatively interesting as we move into the President's Day holiday weekend. It's already on the map. I'd rather see something in its formative stages and gradually come to see that storm system growing more bullish as you approach the short range than when you see it in the long range, because I would say probably 99 times out of 100, that winds up coming out and being a lot different than what you're seeing. But it is a very dynamic, interesting pattern. It's going to be cold. We also have blocking. We have a really good setup with regards to where the troughs and ridges are. So for later next week and next weekend, but particularly for next weekend. And we'll, of course, talk about that tomorrow, along with this current storm system on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And that'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So that's Saturday at 11 a.m. No show this coming Sunday. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.